This is Mad Mikey, and you're listening to the Interactive Interview. And I'm not mad, because I'm interactive.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on the interactiveinterview.com. I'm James Walsh, joined as always by Daniel Edler, with our special guest, Mad Mikey, a.k.a. Crash Holly. How you doing, Mike?
Oh, pretty good. It's no longer Crash Holly. I do not own that name, so it's Mad Mikey.
Right, well...
Mad about?
What?
If you live with Steven Richards, you'd be mad, too. That's what I'm mad about.
That was actually one of our questions. Okay.
Yes, I do. I live with Steven Richards. I'm actually the housewife. I do the gardening, and I take care of the house while my husband is away working for the incredible program called WWE.
First question I have for you is, were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Yes, I was. I was a wrestling fan growing up. I watched wrestling. I was a huge fan of NWA and just a lot of their releases. And actually, I was a huge Memphis fan growing up.
Who were some of your favorites at that time?
Some of my favorites, I like to watch a lot of the Sav stuff when he came to the South. Just pretty much anything. A lot of stuff that got me into pro wrestling, that really got me into this primetime wrestling. With Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan was so quick-witted, and you knew what was scripted.
Right.
That's something that really got me into it.
One of our listeners, Shuhab, wants to know what kind of sports did you play growing up?
What kind of sports did I play growing up? I pretty much played anything growing up. I played, it was a seasonal rotation. I played when I was a young man, way back, young and 32 now. Actually, it's my birthday on Monday, so anyone who wishes to send me plenty of money and gifts can send it to the NWA TNA headquarters. No, actually, I played Little League baseball, soccer, and basketball as the seasonal rotation, so I was pretty much a year-round athlete of sorts. At the time I was 8 years old up.
Who trained you for wrestling?
Woody Farmer, Mae Young, and a little bit of Pepper Gomez. That would be 1989 that I started.
How did you get your break in the WWE?
I got my break in WWE. Jim Cornette saw a tape of myself and Vic Grimes wrestling a match in Hayward at an APW show. APW is run by Roland Alexander, and we had a Falls Count Anywhere match, and Jim Cornette was so impressed with Vic Grimes. It was more Vic Grimes he was impressed with, because Vic Grimes do a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of Mankind / Cactus Jack /
Mick Foley
stuff. Yeah, so he was more impressed with Vic, but much like many of the big men in wrestling, you need a cruiserweight to bump for you, make you look good. So that's kind of how I got my break, because I would take a lot of big crazy moves, and also Vic was one hell of a bumper, but that's kind of how I got my break.
You worked on the indie scene a little bit, quite a bit before you got to the WWE. What were some of your gimmicks at that point?
I only had two. I had my first name I had when I started with Woody was Johnny Pearson, and the other one was the Leprechaun, Aaron O'Grady.
Dan, take the next one.
Come on, Dan. Take the next one, Dan.
Shall do. Did you prefer being the more comedy character alongside Bob Holly, or would you prefer to come in as a more straight-laced character like Bob himself?
No, I enjoy doing comedy. I think I like doing comedy. I think that's my real strong point, is making an idiot out of myself at my own expense. A lot of wrestlers don't like doing that, because I think the mindset of most wrestlers is to remain strong and look strong in the ring and get a lot of their own stuff, a lot of their own, pardon my language, a lot of their own shit in the ring. I'm never a wrestler to get my own moves in. I like doing comedy and being an idiot, and I like to sell, and I think that's the reason why I've had a lot of success, because there's not a lot of wrestlers who like to take that route, so it's pretty much, not many people do it, so if not a lot of people are doing it, there's a market for it.
Fairly recently, Bob Holly did something on Tough Enough when he beat up that kid. We've had several guests, and they've expressed different views on it. What's your take on that situation?
Well, being one that Bob Holly's probably beat on more than anyone else, I think Matt should have stopped crying and bitching and complaining and shut up and take it, because that wasn't anything compared to what Bob's given me. Bob's hit me 10 times harder than that. And for Matt to sit there and cry and bitch, you know what, Matt, he should have got the hell out the door, because if you can't take a beating from Bob Holly, you're going to get beat up worse by somebody else. So I was actually pretty pissed off when I saw it, because I heard about it. I said, I want to see what Bob did to this guy. Bob didn't do anything to him. Bob did what he does to everybody and what he expects done back to him. Bob doesn't hit you any harder than he wants to be hit back. So I was a little bit taken back by that, because that wasn't anything. And like I said, believe me, Bob's hit me 10 times harder, and I don't have any complaints about it. And every time I've done something with Bob, I thanked him. And actually, I owe Bob Holly a major part of my career for helping get me over. So as far as where I take on Matt, I hope Matt can, how should I say this, continue to change his diaper on a weekly day basis and dry his tears, and maybe he might be able to make it in the wrestling business.
In the WWE, you were possibly the most legendary hardcore champion of all time. Why do you think was the downfall of that belt, and what were your favourite moments as hardcore champ?
Well, I appreciate the comment of the legendary thing. Actually, I saw a magazine article, the WWE magazine article, where it was Mick Foley, where they did the hand presentation where they gave, that's the most recent one, I think, was the Dudley's on it, where they're presenting Mick Foley with the hardcore belt. And I think it was Mike Fazioli who wrote Mick Foley was presented with this belt because it was the belt that Mick Foley made famous. Mick Foley didn't make the hardcore belt famous. I did, and everyone else who got 24/7 over. A lot of my gripes with wrestling are people who claim, I'm this kind of champion, I'm that kind of champion. You actually don't win a championship. You get a belt, and you get the ball, and you see if you can run with it. So it wasn't just me. It was myself, Bob Holly, Taz, Perry Saturn, the Mean Street Posse, everybody involved in the 24/7 helped get that belt and make it what it was over. But obviously I was the focal point. So I appreciate the comment about being a legend and everything about that. But as far as for Mick Foley making that belt famous, Mick Foley didn't make that belt famous. Mick Foley fell off the top of the cage. That's what made him famous.
As the hardcore champion, you wrestled in such areas as the ball pond and other insane kind of arenas. What was it like wrestling on that sort of surfaces? And how many times did it take to shoot that sort of outside skit?
You know, my favorite one was the one I did with the Headbangers. It was at a video game place. There was two different levels, and we did it in one take, and I'm actually really proud of that. I'm sure they are too, and I'm proud they helped me get that over, because a lot of those takes, a lot of pre-tapes take a long time. Sometimes you have to shoot them again and again. And when you're doing something like hardcore where you're being hit in the head or hit several times, you don't want to do it again and again. You want to get it right the first time. So that's my proudest moment, was that one. It was in New Jersey. I can't remember the place. It was some video game place, but I went down the slide and I did a hurricane off some sliding thing. I can't remember. I hit the head so many times. That was actually my most proud moment, that it came off in one take.
You, yourself and Bob Holly, managed to defeat the Rock and Sock Connection and held the WF tag team title belts for 18 days. How high would that rank in your career highlights?
Well, obviously right there, like I said, I'll say stuff about Mick Foley. I have respect for him, you know, as far as he is a legend in the business, and he's done a tremendous amount for the professional wrestling industry. But when it comes to something like the hardcore belt, that's kind of my thing. Beating those guys, obviously it's an honor to be put in a match like that and to be wrestled two of the top guys ever in the business. That wouldn't be my career high point. My career high point, I think, will be WrestleMania 2000 when Battle World took place, because I think one of anybody's goals who gets involved in pro wrestling is to be involved in a WrestleMania match, and to have a match pretty much made after the gimmick that they gave me after the 24/7. It's really an honor, so that's my proudest moment.
Speaking of 2000, in 2000 you were somewhat of an underdog and finished quite a lot further than people would have expected in the King of the Ring tournament. What memories do you have of that?
You know, King of the Ring, here's the funny part about King of the Ring, and the funny part about a lot of the shows. A lot of people think that you know what you're doing weeks before, maybe days before you go into it. I had no idea how much involvement I would have at King of the Ring. I'm really proud of the match I had with Kurt Angle, and then the whole involvement, being involved. Obviously, ending that a hardcore evening gal match, I think everybody wanted that thing to end. Oh my God! That match, and then the match I had with Bull Buchanan, that's one of my prouder moments too. That was a good night for me. It's obviously one of my career highlights. It was, and to wrestle in front of that many people, up in Boston, I think it was 18,000. Yeah, it was a really enjoyable experience.
More recently, you were involved in an angle on SmackDown with Matt Hardy and Shannon Moore, but then seemed to disappear from television and were released from WWE. What happened there?
What happened there was it was a mutual release. I knew my release was coming, and I'm very happy with how they let me go. It was a real letdown to me. I was so excited to be involved with Matt and Shannon because I think as a six-man, I don't think anyone could have been a better six-man than us. If given the time, if given the promo time, and given the correct angles, I don't think anyone could have been better than us. But we never were given the time or the angles because that's the part about wrestling that's fake. You don't get the ball unless somebody likes you and wants to give you the ball. So it was an absolute letdown, and that was one of my biggest frustrations there towards the end, that we were never given a chance. I said this before in interviews. I kind of joked. We're the only six-man tag team never to do a six-man tag match. So that to me, that just shows that no one liked us enough to give us a chance and give us the ball. So to me, it was a letdown because I think the thing that Matt has done is absolutely incredible, because a lot of people would compare Matt and Jeff to Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, and people would call Matt the Marty Jannetty of the team. Well, just look what Matt's done. He's created an image. He's got incredible promos. He's completely reinvented himself. But here lies the point in again that I don't think Matt has a match on SummerSlam. I don't think Matt's been involved as much as he should have been or can be, because Matt has incredible matches, incredible work. Same with Shannon too. The chemistry with Matt and Shannon is, to me at least, is incredible. And the three of us combined, I thought we could have done some really good stuff and been a really good piece in the program. But then again, that's how the wrestling business works. Unless somebody wants to give you the ball, you don't get to run.
Matt had a match scheduled against Zach Gowen, but it was pulled earlier on today. So
interesting, it was pulled. There you go. I didn't even know that. It was pulled again. So, well, there you go. That's the wrestling business for you.
Many people have...
Any times during... Oh, sorry, James.
Yeah, you go ahead, Dan. Daniel, go ahead. Go ahead, Danny boy.
During your entire career with the WWE, at what point did you feel that you were most underused?
What point do I feel I was most underused? I feel probably pretty much... Probably after King of the Ring, about a month or two after King of the Ring, they never really did anything with me, to my knowledge. I don't think they ever did anything with me in any sort of way. They flip-flopped me. I was babyface one week, I was a heel next week, with no rhyme, no reason, no heel turns, no babyface turns. So I was pretty much... I don't ever think I should have been used on top. A lot of guys think I should have won the world championship. I should have done this. I think I should have been used a better piece in the puzzle, like with Matt and Shannon, but opportunities like that never came for me. So that was a lot of my frustration in the company, that I just sat around working Heat or Velocity or Jacked or Metal, which doesn't exist anymore. So it's very frustrating working those shows, because the shows like Heat or those shows I mentioned, they don't have any rhyme or reason. There's no feuds going on in those shows. They're just matches for the meaning of just having mindless matches. So that kind of drives you insane after a while. So it's frustrating working those shows when you know you can contribute to the program and you know you can carry the ball. But it's like I said before, I never got a chance pretty much after King of the Ring to do anything. So I think it's pretty much after that point.
Many of us have talked about the morale of the WWE locker room going down. Did you ever see any of that?
Oh, I saw it completely go down. You know, to me, I've said this in interviews before, that where I work now at the NWA, it's like night and day, the locker room.
That's actually one of our next questions. How does the locker room compare with the WWE?
I have such a good time working TNA. It's the most fun I've had probably since I was being used in a better fashion than WWE. It's a night and day atmosphere. Guys are having a good time. Guys can go out there and you have freedom to have fun and do things and, things you can't do up there. It seems sometimes when you scratch your ass wrong up there, you get in trouble. That just seems to me, it's just the morale up there, to me at least, in my opinion, the morale is horrible, And it's not anything particular that, like I said, it's just that I can pinpoint. It's not a good working environment. It's kind of like a sports team. When a sports team's winning and you're selling out arenas and you're winning world championships, everybody's happy. But when business is down and ratings is down, the players feel it. And obviously the wrestlers are feeling it.
How has Vince Russo been thus far?
Absolutely great. I love Vince Russo. He's great. He's very approachable. You can talk to him about anything. So I can't say enough how much I enjoy working TNA.
You worked with Vince Russo in the WWE, didn't you?
Vince Russo was only there a couple weeks.
Ah, right.
Before he left, and actually, Vince Russo is the one who came up with my name, Crash Holly, and the concept of it. And he was only there a few weeks, and then he left. So yeah, I have nothing but good stuff to say about Vince Russo.
Regardless if you're having fun in TNA or not, and I know you are, would you ever consider returning to the WWE?
Well, sure I would. I would return there. I'm not bitter about how I left. A lot of people, when they leave, they're bitter, or they bury the company, or like Sable, they'll sue for sexual harassment or whatever. I have no ill feelings towards the company, whatever. I'd return there if the situation was right, but I don't expect my phone to ring anytime soon. They're not going to call me, but if they do call and the situation is right, yeah, I'd go back there. And like I said, I have no ill feelings towards any of the McMahons. That's how I made my living for almost 5 years. So if they called, sure, I'd go work back there if it was right.
Here's a question from the chat room that I'm reading right now. They want to know what your favorite match has been thus far.
In which match? In my career?
Any match in your career, be it in Indies, WWE, or whatever. TNA, whatever. I know it's probably a really hard question to ask. I hate to ask because open-ended questions like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, I enjoy the matches I've worked against women, against Jackie. It's been some of my favorites because it's challenging. Some guys look at it as a challenge. Well, I don't want to go out there and put a woman over. But that's how WWE used me. They used me to get other people over. Because that's how they saw me. I enjoy working with the women and treating them as equals. Because that's how they should be treated. If a man does wrestle a woman, you shouldn't treat her any different. You should whoop her ass. Because believe me, Jackie Moore will whoop your ass right back. So some of the matches, and again, match I had against Molly, I really enjoyed that one too. But obviously, if I'm going to pick one for a high point, it'd be the one I had against Vic Grimes, the Falls Count Anywhere, because that's the one that kind of got me my job in WWE. So probably be that one. And the women. Pretty much I'm a pervert. I just want to touch women. That's all it is.
Oh, there's one woman that is wrestling men in TNA, or was a couple months ago, Trinity. Would you ever like to work with her?
Sure, I'll work with women. I don't have a problem working with any women. Actually, if I do work with the women, I have to practice a lot of headlock takedowns and head scissors and tilt-a-whirl head scissors. That's my stipulation for working with the women.
Oh, you're a smart man. Okay, Dan, take the next one.
How have you enjoyed working with the Jarretts, Jerry and Jeff, thus far?
How have I been what?
How have you enjoyed working with the Jarretts?
Oh, tremendously. They're very approachable, and Jeff has an incredibly hard job. He's got to wrestle on the show, and he's got to write the show. I wouldn't want his job, the stress factor he must have. The Jarrett's very approachable. You could talk to him about anything. Like I said, I keep saying it enough. I wouldn't work there if I didn't enjoy it enough. So they're great.
You working any other promotions except the NWA TNA currently?
No, I'm not working anything else currently. But anyone interested in contacting me, feel free. Get a hold of me. I'm interested in working anywhere.
Would you be open to word associations? We just mention a name and you just tell her what you think of them, or you can be one-word answer. You can go on a rant, or if you have a story you'd like to tell, go ahead.
Sure.
Sound okay? First name on the list is Bob Holly.
Bob Holly?
Yes.
Bob Hart, tough son of a bitch.
Molly.
Needs to go on a diet and lose that fat ass.
The Rock.
One of a kind.
Mick Foley.
A legend in his own mind.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, he's the best ever.
Stevie Richards.
Stevie Richards. The only true friend I have in professional wrestling and life.
Jim Ross.
Jim Ross?
Yeah.
Let me think. Well, he wrote 2 books, but they weren't bestsellers. Stick to the announcing.
Vince McMahon.
What can you say? He's a legend. You know, what can you say about him? He's obviously he's the most successful promoter of all time.
And finally, is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Yes, like I say to the fans, I appreciate your support. I know I might not be everybody's favorite type of wrestler. I know a lot of people like the high-flying cruiserweights, but if you're ever having a bad day and you need something to laugh at, you just watch TNA and laugh your ass off with me, because that's what I'm there for. If you can't laugh at yourself, laugh at me.
Well, once again, we'd like to thank you for this interview, and stay tuned for more from the interactive interview.
Oh, I'd also like to say one more thing.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, Triple H gets a lot of negative attention on the internet. A lot of people like to bury Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd just like to say one thing on him. Triple H is a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up type of guy in the locker room and in the ring. Actually, on pay-per-views, too. You could turn on a pay-per-view or Monday Night Raw, and you could just see him standing up. He's always standing up. He's never on his back.
Oh, wow. I didn't know where you were going with that one, but now I see it.
That type of guy.
Well, once again, thank you for this interview. This was actually great. Stay tuned for more from the interactive interview.
Enjoying what you're hearing? Be sure and check out WrestlingEpicenter.com on social media at Facebook.com/WrestlingEpicenter, on Twitter at James Epicenter, and of course, WrestlingEpicenter.com for 24-hour news updates, our interview archives, and all the other information you've come to expect from the Wrestling Epicenter.
Hey, this is Michael Manna, but you may know me better under one of my many names. Stevie Richards, Big Stevie Cool from the BWO, Dr. Stevie from TNA. I can't remember the R20, but I do remember that you're listening to the interactive interview.
Hey everybody, this is Goldilocks, and you're listening to the greatest online radio show of all time, the Interactive Interview.
Yay! I just heard Randy Savage rap. You do it, Danny. You do it, lady. Yay! Yay! I want to hear Randy Savage rap again. Yay!
Okay, that's really strange. That's quite strange, though, James.
Yay! Yay! You do it. You do it, lady.
All right, now everybody knows my secret identity. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. You now seem like you've just been let out of the ward.
Well, people now know my secret identity is all I have to say.
Oh, dear me, that's a shame, mate. Bad news.
Yay!
I'm in one of those rare sarcastic moods, by the way.
Why is that?
So I've been drinking for the past 12 hours.
Ah, then this should make for a good recap. Well, Dan, I think we made a promise. First of all, what did you think of that Randy Savage song first?
Well, I've said it before on our previous recap, and I'll say it again. That all Macho Man fans should... It's either one of those ones that you have to hear, or you really don't need to, kind of thing. Depending on the sort of degree of a Macho Man fan you are. If you're a casual Macho Man fan, you quite enjoy his stuff, I'd check it out, because it'll kill your enjoyment of him.
You're going to enjoy it?
If you're a hardcore fan, it'll kill your enjoyment of Macho Man.
Oh.
That's what I said. if you're a hardcore rap fan or a hardcore Macho Man fan, don't touch it with a barge pole. No matter how long the barge pole is. If it's a 15-foot barge pole, don't touch it. It'll completely paint your view of Randy. It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
This is not good. No.
Nah.
Yay! Boop, 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 boop. Yay! I want to go to Hawaii. Yay! I got mail. Yay! Yay! Yay!
A weird on the other end of the phone. If only the recorder was my end.
I got mail. Yay! You do it, lady. All right, I'm gonna stop that.
Strange.
So let's see how many people pick up on what I'm actually doing. It's sort of a TV show, but
A couple of you.
Yeah, let's see if they actually figure out who I am now.
Are you Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
How'd you guess?
Oh, what really?
No, seriously. What are they suggesting? They have a talking dog, they're always hungry, and they have a leaf on the side of their van. What are they suggesting?
They're suggesting that everyone's on drugs.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay, well, I think we made a promise to people. We made a promise to people about SummerSlam. Did we not?
We did.
And we were going to talk about what we thought of the show.
Indeed.
And we were also going to read a post from the forums.
We're going to read a couple of posts. I'll let you choose because this is completely impromptu. It's off the cuff.
It is.
And everything is us. We don't script things.
Plus, you're not online.
I'm not online, no.
So this
I'm
is...
laying on my bed.
Good. Plus...
Very comfortable considering I've been sitting on half-back chairs, standing up for the past 12 hours.
The
Charity.
Yes.
Charity.
Charity. What do you mean for charity?
Well, it was a charity day that I just attended. 12 hours of drinking beer for charity.
And how is that for...
I didn't feel that bad because I was drinking beer and all the money was going to charity. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so the money your money spent on the beer went to the charity?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to figure out how getting drunk had anything to do with charity. Okay.
Yeah, I spent 60 of my English pounds, which roughly equates to about 100 of your American dollars.
On beer?
On the day. Things like, beer, food, entertainment, music, pool, gambling.
Wow.
The usual. Just to keep myself entertained for 12 long hours. 3 of which it was just me and one friend. Because other people were like, yeah, we'll meet you down there at 12. Actually, we're going to be a couple of hours late with you too. Actually, we're just tidying our rooms. We'll be there at 4. It's like, okay, well, if you just said 4 the first time, then we wouldn't have planned for you to be here, so we'd be drunk already. But, shit happens. Oh, that's 4.
Oh, you swore. Yay, Daniel swore. Yay. Boop, 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 boop.
Hello, Augie.
I want to hear...
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
I want to hear Randy Savage rap again, lady. Boop, 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 boop. Yay.
Which one's the guy in the white shirt? Is it Fred?
What?
Because I've got the opinion that he's quite randy. No pun intended. I think he's quite a horny guy, because all the way through, he always said to Shaggy, he goes, quick shag. Doing a quick shag. You get it? Quick
Yes,
shag.
I did. And for those who don't know, shag means the F word in England, I think. Does it not?
It does.
So basically he's named Fucky.
Shag means intercourse.
Who the hell is this?
A man and a woman.
I'm looking at this post here by Adrian Sensation. Who the hell is this girl?
Sensation.
Who?
Acadian.
Sensation, yeah. Who the hell is this girl in that post?
I don't know. I think it's Hillary Duff.
I dare you to tell me this chick is not hot.
Yeah, except she's not hot.
Uh,
No, she's alright, but guess how old she is?
68.
No, she'd be quite good for a 58-year-old.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe 20.
14.
14?
Yeah.
That's not...
That's what I was told, at least. When she recorded her last film, she was 14.
That's...
I don't know if it's the last film. The last film I heard of her about.
That's
I
not...
could be wrong, but that's what we were saying. I was on holiday, and her photo was on the back of a magazine we was looking at. Not one of those magazines. Back of this, I think it was like a sports magazine or something. And her photo was on the back, and it said like, a 14-year-old sensation, Hilary Duff. It's like, pardon? 14? No. That's wrong. That's got to be wrong. It's got to be 18, surely. But no. Yeah, strange.
I'm reading these posts here, and so far, I gotta say that the one is right, and I hate to say this on the air, because she doesn't exactly like me, but so far the one that's been right so far has been Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
She agreed with me that...
Read out Kelly's poster.
Let me find it.
For SummerSlam.
Well, I can read your post. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out, that you said to her.
No, let's not read that.
Yes, that was not very nice. But it'd be a lucky door, I'll give you that.
Yeah. I didn't get that till after I said yes.
Okay. Are you sure you didn't, Dan? Okay, I'm reading my posts. I'm reading your post saying, what the hell are you saying here? We did something similar. Oh, this is when Too Cool was rambling on about, Simpsons did it! Simpsons did it! Yay! I want to watch The Simpsons! Yay! You do it, lady!
Okay, you're quite strange.
Dude, say yay!
See, people think I've just figured it out that he's just strange, but no, I've figured it out before. I just like repeating it.
Look.
Over and over.
Look, Too Cool has a band logo.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's because I banned him.
Okay, I read slowly, so everybody knows this now. I actually agree with James. If Kevin Nash was going to get the belt, he would have gotten it the times that he faced him. She also goes on to say that they fought each other in 2 back-to-back main events, and Nash never got the belt, which is true. So, like James said, it basically has to come down to Goldberg and Triple H, which it did, by the way. But she does not agree with me. She feels that Triple H's groin injury, which there's a line there somewhere, is not that severe of an injury, and she feels that Triple H has gone into a situation where he was going to lose the title before, where people in the betting office bet quite a bit of money and lost a lot of it because Triple H did not lose the belt, which of course Crash Holly pretty much covered in the end of our interview with him, didn't he? Okay, so basically she's the only one that I see on this thing that I'm skimming quickly that actually said she felt Triple H would win the match. Personally, I think Goldberg should have...
I was pretty surprised because they had Goldberg run through. Okay, Kevin Nash got somehow...
How did he get eliminated? I blinked and I missed that.
Yes.
By the way, Nash, that haircut sucks. Let me say that. Go ahead.
Nash went for the jackknife on Randy Orton, and Shawn Michaels hit in switching music and pinned him. For Triple H or Goldberg, they'd been released from their chambers, which was kind of a strange thing because Nash isn't so good at jobbing, so it kind of surprised me. Then Goldberg completely ran through Randy Orton. Randy Orton got pinned by a spear, didn't even give him a jackhammer.
Right.
Which I think made him look a tiny bit weak. They probably needed to add jackhammer in to build up Randy Orton as a legit main event. But they didn't, so whatever. Vince knows best. Then Shawn Michaels got the spear and jackhammer. He was gone. And Chris Jericho had his head rammed by the cage.
That was sick, yeah. That was cool, though.
He came back in the ring and got speared, not speared, just jackhammered, and got...
I think he got speared again, too.
Left it down to Goldberg and Triple H.
And they built that up, I don't know. I think it made Goldberg look weak. I mean, not the running through everybody, because that was cool, and that's what Goldberg should have always been. But when Triple H, it didn't even look that great when he hit him with the sledgehammer.
It just kind of looked like he kind of caught him on the way through.
Yeah, which to me would not, kill somebody like they made it out. Like he was out cold for like 20 minutes. I mean, give me a break. So.
But for anybody who dislikes Goldberg, I'd probably advise getting some sort of repeat of SummerSlam, because the blade job that Ric Flair does on Goldberg is so sloppy that Goldberg's entire head is engulfed by blood. It's pretty disgusting. If we align it to, if you remember back to the Hell in a Cell match between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. If you remember how The Undertaker blamed himself there, in that he lost pretty much every ounce of blood in his forehead, let's kind of align it to that and put it as, instead of being just across the face, it was across all of Goldberg's bald head. And there we go.
He was trying to scalp him.
Pardon?
He was trying to scalp him.
I don't know what he's trying to do.
Hmm.
It was totally interesting because Goldberg needed quite a lot of stitches to sell that wound.
Let me just say this. I really was not impressed with the crowd last night either. Not the size of the crowd, but the noise they were making. Because to me, I was impressed with the Rhino, Tajiri, but I don't think Tajiri had any chance of winning anyway, Eddie Guerrero and Benoit match. I thought that was a great match. But the fans just were like, you know, ho-hum towards it, you know?
I found word today that apparently the Kidman, like, not Kidman, sorry, wrong person, Shannon Moore versus Rey Mysterio match, the Raw Heat, was cut quite dramatically short due to the fact that Rey Mysterio actually tore his hamstring during the match.
Who won the match?
Rey Mysterio. He hit the West Coast, he hit the 619 in the West Coast pop. It was a very sloppy West Coast pop, given the fact that he had to, you know, use his hamstring, obviously.
This guy, Mysterio, is far too injury prone. I know I say it, I know I'm probably getting heat for saying so, but every time I see him, within a 6-month period, he's hurt. And it's always his leg. You're giving me static there, Daniel.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My apologies.
My apologies.
That's me leaning on the aerial of my phone.
Aha.
I was attempting to take my ring off.
Okay.
I agree. I tell you someone who's more injury prone.
Beg your pardon?
I tell you someone who's more injury prone.
Who's that?
Randy Orton.
Is he? He's hurt again?
Yep. No, he's not hurt again, but think about it. He's been, called up, I think, a year and a bit. He's been called up for. 2 injuries in his time on WWE television. Well, the second time was kind of a re-injury, so I'd say 3 injuries, really. And 1 just before. He was used regularly by WWE in 1998, 1999, 2000 sort of time in OVW, and then became sort of a main OVW character just before he was called up, a few months before he was called up. And so in that time, since he became regular, extremely regular in OVW, and the time he was in WWE, that's 4 injuries in about 4 years.
Wow.
They were pretty lengthy injuries every time.
Wow.
Maybe Randy needs to work on the old conditioning.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I know what a lot of these guys go through, and if you think about it, with all the pain that some of them do work with, and Matt Hardy made reference to it about what he called the novelty act, which, by the way, if anybody listens to our recaps, you can hear that I called him a novelty act way before then, so obviously Matt Hardy's a fan of the show. What's it? Tenacious C, I can't think of his name. Zach Gowen. There we go.
Zach Gowen.
Yeah, he said people work with injuries, and that's true, but you know how they do it, is they start downing the pills. And that's one thing I don't support, I will never support, and I know a lot of people out there that's on the pills that shouldn't be. But I'm not going to get into a big political issue with this now, so I'll save you the trouble. I think we can get into that in our next interview, though. But let's not say who it is yet until it happens.
Quirky. Although, talking of interviews, we just had Mad Mikey.
Mad Mikey.
Crash Holly. As he explained to us, he's no longer got the rights to the name Crash Holly, because that is owned by WWE.
Yes, but I think when we promote the...
To any talents, are they? So
What'd you say?
they're not going to open up their copyrighted names to talents that no longer live them. So.
Right. Well, what I'm trying to say is...
no more.
What I'm trying to say is, what we should do is promote it as AKA Crash Holly, just in case people don't know who Mad Mikey is yet.
Indeed, yeah, that's true.
Right.
I understand that completely. Just to let people know that he no longer goes under the moniker of Crash Holly. And one thing I noticed is that before he entered the WWE, before he debuted, people outside that didn't know who he was,
Right.
said that his real name was Erin Bray. So it's good to know that. Sorry, not Erin Bray. Erin Bray is a female valet. Erin O'Grady, the Irish leprechaun. Is what people used to call him. I say that was his real name, but that was just a gimmick he used on the indie circuit, just prior to becoming WWE superstar. So that clears up that little misconception about Crash.
His real name is Mike Lockwood.
That is correct.
Yay!
Mad Mikey.
We talked to Mike Lockwood. Yay!
And he really is quite mad.
Yay! He's not bad. He's interactive. Yay!
On our promo, we'll have to play that eventually. He said, "I'm not mad. I'm interactive." So I thought that was funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy. He's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy, yeah. And
He's like Crash.
the thing is, he is a very smart guy, too. If I was going to be wrestling the women, I'd make sure they got those head scissors down quite well. I'd also like to practice pinning them, too. What was that?
They've had a good match against the women.
Yes.
Go, Mikey. Go, Mikey.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe you can give Trinity a good wrestling. Or maybe, I don't know, something, a female wrestler. Say. But not Alexis, oh dear, I can't even say her name. Not Alexis Lurie anymore because she's been signed to a WWE contract.
Has she now?
She has indeed.
Okay, pardon me.
I find it funny that because she made her debut against Trinity, in which she absolutely sucked, and you've hated her since because she sucked. Am I right?
I really don't want to get into this one. No, I'm just shooting with you here. All right, let me put it this way. Well, if you go back, you know how people go outside to smoke?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she doesn't have cigarettes.
Eh?
She has something to smoke, but it's not a cigarette.
Ah.
Ah.
Alexis from the Wacky Backy. That's like an English slang term.
Yay! She's got a wacky vacky. Yay!
Yeah.
You have a wacky vacky, Dan?
What the hell is
You're mad. You used it in completely the wrong term. The wrong concept. Oh, yeah. I really can't figure out the right word. You can tell it's not scripted, though.
This is all scripted, right? Yeah. I'm reading it right now on the screen. Right. Next thing I'm going to say to you is, hi.
Hi. Yeah. I'll read off my auto cue here. My auto cue says, make sure to mention Crash Holly / Mad Mikey interview. Speak clearly. Speak loudly. Speak?
Speak loudly.
That's what my auto cue says. But it's not very helpful because it's just said that since like midday.
Well, what I think what he said was, and I thought this was great, he said things about Mick Foley. And he spoke rather diligently about it. And for those who don't know, who haven't read the recap yet, he actually called me back about 5 minutes after the interview. And I never even told you this, Dan.
No?
About 5 minutes after the interview, he called me back and he said, I wanted to mention one more quick thing to you guys. And I said, well, what's that? And he's like, if you promote this, make sure you mention that I'm very sorry that Mick Foley's book didn't make it into the top 50. And he's like, I'm just so heartbroken about that. So apparently there's a problem there.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I like the way he said for the word associations. He said Mick Foley, a legend in his own mind.
Right, and he also had, I believe he said the reason why Mick Foley is famous is because he fell off a cage. Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is somewhat true.
So, well, yeah. I mean, I've never...
Fair enough, he obviously paid his dues in Japan and whatnot, but people really remember him for those 2 bumps.
Let me just quickly say this. Mick Foley, to me, has always been a decent worker for his size and for the way he looks. I have never, honestly, and still don't, see him as the greatest ever as some of our counterparts have done. As in Christianity. Christianity tries to promote him over Hulk Hogan. And to me, I've never seen that. Of course, we're still hopeful to get Mick on the show, so love you, Mick.
Yay! I want to talk to Mick Foley. Yay! Yay! I'm on the phone.
He's on the phone.
What?
James on the phone, people.
Yes. That was my secretary.
Ice.
Yes.
Ice baby.
Yes,
I meant to say IC and I said ice for some reason, so let's make a quick recovery by start singing Ice Ice Baby. But yeah, but Mick, yeah, we love Mick.
Ice Baby.
The same rate. I'd have to agree with Crash. He's not. Well, I have to agree with you, rather. But he's not obviously not in the same league as Hulk Hogan, but he does good. He does good work. We like his work.
He's a great worker, and I think the fact that he's writing children's books now is actually a cool thing, because
and he got out of the business at the right time.
He got out of the business when he knew it was going too far. And to be honest with you, I hate to say this because it's going to get heat, but he's part of the reason why it started going too far.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to somebody today about the virtues of the business and the future of the business, right? We were talking about how in the 50s, if you saw a body slam in a match, that was considered a high spot. And nowadays, you see guys doing backflips off balconies on ladders through flaming tables covered with barbed wire. And that's a high spot. So it's like, well, at what point does he, at what point is a shot to the head going to be considered? Like an actual gunshot to the head going to be somebody's finishing hold? I mean, it's starting to get a little bit out of control. I think it's starting to get a little bit back.
The problem is now that they've pushed the boundary so far that, for example, last night at SummerSlam, Eric Bischoff versus Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Shane did the elbow off the top rope to the outside through a table. And I'd imagine from the crowd reaction, I'd say probably about half the crowd, maybe more, was surprised at the finish. Just like, it's just an elbow through a table. What's that? Yeah, okay, think back. 5 years ago? No, 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. If you saw the elbow through the table, then I imagine you'd be talking about it for weeks.
Right.
That's not a maneuver. Imagine you seeing that back in the 80s. Anything even mildly close to that sort of maneuver. I mean, because they didn't have the announcers in that position. They didn't have the Spanish announcers then. So they couldn't do that sort of maneuver. But anything close to that sort of jurisdiction of like that sort of move. That would be the high spot talked about in each and every territory. Each and every territory we think, oh my God, how can we match this?
Well, this is what happened. This is, if you think back, there's 2 table spots I can think of. That's when Terry Funk piled Ric Flair through the table. And they played it up like Ric Flair broke his neck. And Hogan slammed Earthquake to the table, but the table didn't actually break. It just kind of fell over. So that didn't really get over as well as they tried to, but that was another thing. The table just kind of fell over, which was sad.
Now you've got people body slamming the Big Show's tables. Like Big Show's not actually 600 pounds, 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like him now. He's the tiny giant now. He picked up everybody.
Yeah.
Lesnar F5 in the Big Show was absolutely amazing the first time. And now he's been through tables, doing through tall chairs, whatever. Yeah. I noticed too, obviously I'm not nitpicking, it was 2 great matches, game match and the Brock Lesnar match. 2 mistakes. So first off, Brock Lesnar went for the first F5. That ankle was quite clearly supposed to, turn it into DDT. But they just sort of fell over.
Who, the first F5?
Yeah, the first F5.
The one where Angle landed almost on his head?
The one, it was before that. It was a reversal. He kind of went for it and they just sort of fell over. Angle covered him, kick out. They picked up again, F5 again, but it was reversed into a tornado DDT. I'd imagine, I'd put money on the fact that was supposed to be the first spot.
Right.
Obviously, because it's quite a big high spot for the match, they always have to replay it and do it again. So, I imagine that's probably what they went for the first time. And I didn't like when the ground started chatting, you effed up, like you up sort of thing, to Kane when he flipped on the top rope, because think about it, it's been used all night, slippery rope, and it was from the inside to the outside. For a guy that no longer wears his mask, so it's obviously, it's a different sort of environment thing, because before he had the facial protection, in that if he was going against the barrier or something, he'd have extra facial protection there to save himself, but he's obviously working without it for the first time in God knows how many years. So he's sort of readjusted his style. Do you find it strange looking at Kane now and thinking, wow, this is Kane with his mask off?
And he looks like Vader.
made it. Okay, I wouldn't go that far. But then all his body movements are the same, but you know, it's his face now. It just kind of freaks me out a bit, because like, it's Kane, but it's Kane without the mask. And, you know,
It should be
I'm
about...
dominating this recap as much as I dominated the interview.
You actually did have a lot of spots in the interview, and I'm glad, because a couple of questions you threw in there weren't even written down.
Uh-huh.
You kind of just jumped in there.
My immense, like,
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah, well, you had to help me out because I didn't know as much, because I didn't really... I know who he is, but I never really... I watched WCW instead of WWE back then, so some of the early stuff I didn't really get to see.
I think it wasn't a question of his King of the Ring,
Yeah.
voyage and such.
Isn't that where they take pictures of the girls peeing?
Pardon?
No, that's Flair.
That's weird.
Yeah, and these are sick people, by the way.
You're big weirdo.
These are sick people. I saw it on the internet the other day, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And I click a picture, and there's a girl pissing, and I'm like, okay. And this is attractive. Why? I have no idea. There are some sick people in this world.
I'm sure some people like it.
Some people like very strange things.
Some people like actual real strange things,
Yes, I'm sure.
Wives and stuff.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, and some people like to talk dirty to a little box on the screen.
On the phone and actually speak to real people, not typing them and meet them, and I don't know.
Well, meeting them is okay. I met a girl online the other day. Very nice, yes. She's from Arizona, so
What'd you say, sorry?
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
Said she's very nice.
You met a girl on the other day, something.
I met a girl online the other day. She seems very nice. She's from Arizona.
I thought you said, I met a girl online the other day, pretty nice sex.
No. She's not like that. I wouldn't get involved with something like that. She seems...
My friend's ex-girlfriend's tonight.
Uh-huh.
I said, so why did you break up? It's not being a bit nosy, so I'm a bit drunk. She's much more drunk than me, so she went into full graphic detail. And she said, what kind of drew it for me was that I was doing this basically trying to pull my top off. I was like, okay, right, okay. That's a bit strange. Yes, that was the time. I said, you don't. I don't need it. Oh.
Honest to God, I understood top off, but not much else that you just said.
But you need this, isn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about. What did he try to do?
To rip her top off.
Hmm.
Yank it off.
Ah. Well, that wasn't too nice of him, then was it?
So what you do is you yank off her top. No, not yank off her top. You get her drunk, introduce her, and then she'll take her top off. You have to do the yanking.
Well, she could do the yanking, but just not her top. What am I talking?
Ching, 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 bing.
Yay!
Riley.
Yay!
Quick check.
Ladies, I was rapping. Boop, 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 boop. Yay!
Quick check. Oh, by the way, do you have Postman and Pat in the USA?
Do I have what in the USA?
It's a children's TV program, Postman and Pat.
Post from Patton?
Postman.
Pat. Postman Pat. Well, to be honest with you, I don't really watch kids shows, but
I meant when you were younger, but
No, we don't. Well, I do watch Nickelodeon because I watch Nick at Night, so I get to see what's on there occasionally. But SpongeBob SquarePants, he's pretty cool.
It's an animated program in the UK.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a rendition of how the theme song goes. It's Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, black and white cat, like that. So this morning, I awaken after watching SummerSlam till 5 a.m. I awaken to hear the Swedish version of Postman Pat, which goes Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and then black and white cock. And it actually says, sounds like saying cock, which I'm not sure what word that is in Swedish or not, but it's a black and white cock. I woke up to my friend absolutely pissed himself in a black and white cock. Apparently, on
He's interracial.
Yeah, my God, that would be very freaky.
I'm not too white, but my cock is black.
Yeah, 3 hours sleep. So this 3 hours sleep. I'm planning on getting quite a bit more tonight, actually.
I think you're better because you're starting to babble.
I am.
You're making my going, yay, look normal.
I
Yay!
think that's probably the alcohol setting in. So, what would be good would be wrapping up.
Well, we should be wrapping it. So, overall, SummerSlam, my favorite match of the night was Benoit, Rhino, Guerrero, and Tajiri. But Tajiri shouldn't have been in that match, I don't think.
He was there to make up the numbers.
What?
He was there to make up the numbers.
Right.
Three-way, it made more sense.
Right, but I don't think
From a feud point of view.
I don't think he really ever stood a chance of winning the match, though. I mean, I don't think anybody ever thought he could. Who else?
He was there at the job.
Right. I think Sable's looking better now than ever. Of course, I have weird taste in women, but personally, I think she looked better last night than she did back years ago. I don't personally like the girl, but I'm just saying I think she looked better. Stephanie McMahon is not that attractive, I must say.
While I give my opinion, James, have a quick check for the possible check free forums and expose the worst prediction of the night.
Worst
Not quite bad. Have a quick check through the forums while I give my opinion for the match.
I think the worst prediction was Kevin Nash, and about half people made it.
But give some names, just a name and shame. My personal favourite match was Kane vs. RVD, because I'm quite enjoying the feud. Quite enjoying the whole Kane gimmick.
Yeah, I think he needs the mask back, and I don't like him without the hair. But I thought the match was actually fairly decent.
For what would have made more sense would have been having the Steel Stones taken inside the ring, Steel Stones RVD inside the ring, and then pinning. Because it seemed to be Jordy. Because then it seems slightly anticlimactic that they had to pick him up and roll him back in the ring and pin him. I don't know.
To me, if you can't pin a guy like right after a finisher, it makes the guy look weaker. Like if you drag him to the ring after like 5 minutes and he's still out cold, that kind of looks bad for the guy.
I agree. I enjoyed the match, I'd say. I was a bit disappointed by the Shane McMahon and his Eric Bischoff match, to be honest with you. It wasn't really a match, it was... Jonathan Coachman did?
Jonathan Coachman, I have no idea. I was thinking that myself.
He blew with hell.
Why would he be in that ring?
I have completely no idea. Talk about throwing you a complete ball from left field. That was just pardoned. I looked at it and watched. I was like, oh, someone's hitting him. Oh, that's Jonathan Coachman. Pardon.
And he's in the ring for what reason?
Announcer.
He's a bad announcer on what, Heat? And he's just there?
Yeah. He was outside with Allison. If you'd have put money on either of those people being involved in the match that night, Allison or John Coachman, only a complete blind, backwards, stupid person would put any money at all on it being Jonathan Coachman. Because Allison is a wrestler, and John Coachman has never been involved in any kind of angle in his entire time in WWE, except for replacing JR when he gets burned and beaten up and thrown through brick houses and whatnot.
I'm on the forums, by the way.
I still think that Jim Ross probably bumps better than Triple H, but...
Well, Triple H didn't take any bumps last night, so how can you tell? He didn't take anything. He didn't take... What the hell did he do?
He took his Sweet Chin Music bump,
yeah.
Which made about 4 minutes.
Right, that was great.
4 or 5 minutes while Goldberg ran through everybody else.
Yeah. Then he stood there, that was about it. Then he stood there and he hit with the switchhammer, that was pretty much it. He didn't take anything. Alright, I got some names here.
He's a fan of that,
Dreamer619 predicted that Kevin Nash, he feels he would have gotten the win because of the haircut, or because he got a, what the hell am I trying to say here? He feels he was going to get the win because of the haircut, because it would be a new look for him. But he also says that he thinks he would turn heel for them. Personally, I think the haircut looks too shitty on him. Twisted Fate predicted that Earl Hebner would win the title. Well, that would have been one hell of an angle. Yes, well, that was an interesting one.
You put a pretty good explanation together, except for the fact that, you can't win the match if you're not in it. But
right.
I don't know.
William Gardner predicted Kevin Nash would win because he's an old man, and the WWE likes to give the belts to old men. Well, isn't that interesting?
Pretty good reason, actually.
Yeah.
I suppose, if someone's got to hold the stand-up guy's belt, while he's nursing his legs back, I probably would have picked Shawn Michaels or Kevin Nash, one of his good buddies.
Yeah.
As opposed to a person like to bury in Chris Jericho. A person who doesn't get along with it in the slightest in Goldberg, or a person who could possibly end up to these like
I forgot to mention that Gooch also predicted that Triple H would retain the title. So it was Gooch and Kelly that both predicted it, but Kelly looks a hell of a lot better than Gooch. So I still say Kelly gets the post of the night for that one. I like Kelly.
Congratulations to both Kelly and Gooch for correctly predicting from the 10, 15 people who entered our mini competition. You win a night out with James Walsh on town.
You win a free bottle of tap water. Pick up your prize at any kitchen.
I'd be completely shocked and bewildered if he actually, took up the prize. Because James is, he's one of those people you want to be around.
Yes.
He randomly shouts things.
Yay! I want a date! Yay!
And he wants a quick shag.
Yay!
I love that joke. I've been telling that joke for about a year now.
Matt Hardy.
Quick shag. Sorry.
Triple H and Goldberg state the purpose of the...
They'll be one-on-one. Don't forget.
Kickstart. I don't think beating Goldberg was a good idea, by the way.
Hmm?
I don't know. I didn't think that match played out as well as it could have. I think they should have created feuds out of it. Magnitude version 1 predicted that it would come down, but he doesn't actually make a pick here.
Kevin Nash looks really, really weak now against Chris Jericho.
Rock Superstar 363.
Look like a complete loser.
Rock Superstar 363 predicted Goldberg. I actually agreed with him, but I was wrong. All right. Hot for Hall.
I was informed, planned, going into Sunday was for Goldberg to win it. But I'd imagine that some sort of booking meeting got that changed, and that Goldberg, if he was champion, wouldn't be able to work the house shows. Maybe with Shawn Michaels. Maybe with Shawn Michaels. So.
No, am I the only one who popped huge when he pinned Shawn Michaels? I dropped to my knees and I was pounding the floor on that one myself. Yes!
Yeah.
I don't like Shawn Michaels. No, I don't know.
But I was quite surprised to see Shawn Michaels work together with Chris Jericho. They kind of, they've been feuding since WrestleMania.
Right.
You don't have them actually work together. You have one of them pretend to work the other one and then double cross them.
Yeah, and it would have to be the heel. And it should be the heel, which would be Chris Jericho. By the way, did I mention this before? While we still have a little bit of tape left, and we should really wrap this up quickly. I went to the Motorhead concert, Motorhead, Dio, and Iron Maiden, and what was I trying to say? Oh, Motorhead dedicated a song to Triple H and to Chris Jericho. And this was actually in Arizona, so there's a good chance that those guys were actually backstage. But I looked around the arena, well, not arena, the outdoor venue, which had about 30,000 people, which is the most it can hold there. And I didn't see Jericho there, but that does not necessarily mean that he wasn't there. But I took a look for him. I was trying to find him, because if I found him, I was going to say, hey, we're trying to interview you. Come here. Let me interview you. I host an interview show.
Trying to get contact through you with your band.
Yes.
For a couple of months. Which also reminds me.
Which reminds me, we got to do that, don't we, Daniel?
We do.
We do. So.
They were supposed to call.
So, since.
Hey, on tomorrow. That's one tomorrow.
Yay!
Today, that involves me getting up and going online and finding the number. And right now, I'm in bed.
You're in bed. Ah. Well, this has been a good recap. I've enjoyed this recap, actually.
That's good. I don't remember anything. I'm going to go sleep.
Okay. Well, I got a question for you, Daniel.
Yes?
Can I play with madness?
Can I go to sleep?
Can I play with madness? A prophet stares at his crystal ball. Can I play with madness? There's no vision there at all.
Play with whatever you like. You're not in the same room with me, so